Look at this beautiful view of Ho Chi Minh City outside of our window. We're about to get picked up by our Max cruise driver in just a few minutes and go to visit Hull 6 in the water, where we're going to take it for some test sails today. Hopefully there's wind. We actually haven't checked the conditions. So this is the electric hybrid with the raised helm, so a little bit closer to what we're going to be sailing versus Hull 4 when we were here last time. So we are super excited for it, hoping for great weather, and of course the feeling of getting on the water again. After 8 years of the nomadic life, involving crossing oceans in a 34-foot Sabre, refitting an aluminum boat, and then taking that to the Arctic Circle, we're back at it again with a brand new build. This is Matt and I'm Jessica. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and join us every week as we start our newest project of building a 42-foot catamaran from the ground up. To get to the boat on the water, it was about a 2-hour drive south from the city into more rural areas along the Vam Co River. We arrived to find out we were there during king tides, which meant the tender had to come get us from a new creek where many of the local fishing boats moor up. Finishing touches were still being completed on Hull 6, as it was still 6 weeks away from delivery. But we did notice a few of the changes between this boat and Hull 4, such as the lack of veneer in the galley, which the new owners asked for, as well as an indent in the galley instead of a drawer. Wow.
Look at that room.
There is so much space in there. Oh. Terry has been really great about customizing each boat to what suits the owner best. Hull 6 is also the first single raised helm, which is the route we're choosing for our boat.
So then we have fuel cables coming through, and you can see the stretch now just after 5 hours on the water. Yeah? Yet when you play up there, you really don't feel it. That's surprised me.
Yeah, that's surprising.
They'll go through to a quadrant directly below here. You have access through that hole, and you have access down there.
Right.
Then we have our crossbeams here. Now you'll see the adjusters on your crossbeam. We use that just so we can take up to get it exactly centralised.
Okay.
You like?
From what we've gathered so far, the rig just went on this morning at 7 o'clock, and so if you can tell all of the lines behind me here at the helm station, they just got done rigging everything, raising the sails, running the lines, and so the engines have just been turned on, anchor is up, and we're about to head out where today's going to be a jib and main day, but we've got 10 knots of wind right now, so we're hoping for some good sailing. We're going to go downwind, down the river first, and then come back up and yeah, really see what this can do.
Yeah, we've got
We've just gotten the mainsail up on this 18-meter rig. It's, I think, the tallest one they offer, one that Matt and I are actually looking at. Engines are cut, so we're gonna start heading down the river and hopefully get the Genoa out here in a second as well. Or sorry, not Genoa, self-tacking jib. What do you think, Matt? The sun is out, the sails are out.
We've got 2 knots, 3 knots.
It was 10
I know.
knots a second
It was
ago.
seriously, it was 10 just 20 minutes ago, and all of a sudden, now that we're up, there's no wind. I'm starting to get a little bit of it. It's probably just apparent.
We're still cruising. There's still water moving under these holes. A big part of what these sea trials here at Max Cruise at the moment are, as well, is training the crew who are kind of builders, and now they're learning to sail too. So Terry has his kind of like right-hand woman too. She's his #1 assistant and is the translator. So the guys here are kind of like still learning how to work the sheets as Terry tells them what to do. Oh, we just got a nice burst of wind. So with hull 4, you know, we only had those 2 or 3 days that we could sail the boat before it was leaving Vietnam on delivery. So right now they're still kind of learning, but they're getting a lot better at it. So that's the first day we usually don't do like our best sailing, just because everybody's getting adjusted on how to work the sheets and the sails. But we've got 2 more days of this, so hopefully we can like get some really good winds, get those sails set, and like really check out the performance of these boats.
Thấy cái đó chưa?
We've got still pretty light winds at the moment. We're seeing around 6 to 7 knots. We're fighting just a little bit of a current as we go downwind, but we're still averaging speeds of around 5 to 6 knots, so that is pretty good. For light wind sailing, this is so incredibly comfortable. Feels like we're at anchor. Wish the wind could pick up just a little bit, because if you remember that tail that we had the wake the last time we were out here as the storm came up, and there's actually one behind us now. Get a little bit of push and see if we can get this thing up into the teens.
These sea trials are only taking place on the river because Vietnamese laws restrict open water travels of sailing vessels, including sea trials, unless the vessel is registered to either Australia, the Cook Islands, the Malta Islands, or Canada. Luckily, Hull 7 does fall under one of these categories and will be able to do its sea trials in open water.
Now this is the life. Although we do have today's storm on the horizon, so we're gonna start heading back. So since we can't sail anymore at the moment, I'm going to do one of my favorite things to do at the marina, which I actually haven't been able to do much lately just because we're working so late. And that is to grab a beer and sit up and watch the storm come in and stay until it starts pouring on me.
Hi. Hello. Waiting. Hello.
You go say hi again. Say hi to Matt.
Say hi. Be careful, your head is hard.
It is the morning of day 2 of sea trials. I probably should not have stepped outside for my intro because of all the motorbikes. Morning traffic has started here in Ho Chi Minh. But today we have Graham with us. He just flew in last night. He kind of heads up doing the electrical, the hybrid systems. So he's gonna get on the boat today. We're gonna focus on that. Hopefully get some sailing in with the bigger head sails. So just about to hop in the cars for the 2-hour drive down the river back to the boat. All right, we have just arrived from Ho Chi Minh down the river to where the boat is. Currently a hot, muggy day in Vietnam, normally to be expected. I think yesterday we got lucky that it was breezy and cool. But today we're gonna get going right away, get the main up, get the code 0 out. And I think Terry said that like Matt and I are gonna be helming and working the winches, kind of sailing the boat, while him and Graham are gonna be down below, kind of like checking the electric engines and things like that. So sounds like we've got a busy day ahead of us, but we're very excited to get out on the water again. Yep. Oh my gosh, the current running through here right now is crazy, watching it go under the hull. So I think we're gonna be headed downriver first. Gonna be getting quite the push as we get started. It's time to get the sails up. And Matt is on the helm. We are just moving along right now. Spinnaker is up. We're going about 7.5, 8 knots now, and this is just so much fun.
You can lift your hands in the air and the boat will stay on course. That makes sense? She's perfectly trimmed then for cruising, not racing. And you will feel just such a difference.
You show me that again? Look, no hands. We're balanced.
Look, Mum, no teeth.
Yeah, we got her nicely balanced now.
That's better.
All right.
Look more. That's good. That's good.
Building apparently. So it's coming around.
While us soon-to-be owners played at the helm and trimmed the sails, Terry and Graham were below inspecting the hybrid system, which means they would occasionally need to turn our instruments off. But from the systems we could see, Hull 6 was moving swiftly along down the river.
We just took readings, and as we head upriver, it looks like we're fighting a 4.2 knot current. So right next to us is a fishing buoy submerged, and you can just see the water rushing over it. And then if we take our position next to a boat that's anchored next to us, you know, like it looks like we're just moving past it. So there is quite the rush headed down this river right now. But we're also pointed as close to the wind as we can get. How far off are we?
About 40 degrees.
About 40 degrees off the wind, so that's pretty good that we're still able to make this kind of forward movement.
With code 0.
Oh yeah, with the code 0 and 4 knots of current. That looks so good. Getting some delicious banh mi for lunch. The girl's been making it each day. It's so good. Gonna have to learn how to make this when we get back home.
Before we knew it, we were back to the boat's mooring and day 2 of sea trials was over. We achieved some really nice speeds and moderate to low winds and would be out one more time to test the spinnaker and the electric hybrid system.
Later, but we are now back in Ho Chi Minh at the Ben Thanh Market, which is kind of like this big thing of stalls where you can get shopping. So we're just doing like our little touristy pickup things right now, everyone, before they go to the airports and head off, even though a few of us are here a little bit longer. But just like so many stalls with so many things. It's absolutely crazy here how much stuff they have like in this little area.
What are you looking for, madam?
Nothing. done shopping for the day, and now we're off to District 2. The project manager at Mex Cruise has a restaurant there, so we're just gonna kind of go have a couple of beers and hopefully see Terry, because last we heard he was still on the boat working and prepping for us to go back tomorrow.
This is a fun city.
Our night at D2 Sports Bar ended up being a great way to unwind from our time on the water and come together in a fun social atmosphere, including capping the night off with karaoke, and my birthday shot of tequila. Make sure to stay tuned to our next and last episode about Vietnam, where we go on our last day of sea trials, getting the spinnaker up, cover the regen capabilities of the hybrid system, give our thoughts on sailing Hull 6, and release some very exciting news about our own build.
Japan.